whenever there's an episodic series, you can bet two men will talk to you. AJ Talon and Owen Finch give their thoughts on Owen and AJ Talks.
Hey, happy birthday, AJ. Welcome to Owen and AJ Talks. Hey, you know what? You didn't get a bad at least it wasn't the last episode that we're reviewing this time around.
True. Yeah, that one was interesting. But in a way, this is even worse because this episode was boring as fuck. Welcome back to Kiss Sis, episode 6. Woohoo. So, Owen, I was saying, we are officially halfway through Kiss Sis, if you don't include all the specials and the manga. So really, we're not even close to being done with this fucking dumpster fire.
What am I gonna do when I have to read the manga, by the way? Because, like, I'm gonna have to, like, buy... I'm either gonna have to, like, buy it, or, like...
You're done, write your will.
Okay. That's a good sign. But, yeah, so for your birthday today, we're reviewing episode 6. You know... I think this is gonna become a tradition where we review something bad on our birthdays, just to kind of get it in there.
Yeah. But last time you got a real funny one, where we got the glory of Kita's dad smiling smug as fuck as his son is crushed, his hopes and dreams ruined forever. The episode after that, we had a I don't even know how to say it, just a real pissful laugh. I know. She just pissed on his back. There you go. I can't even come up with a pun for it.
Was that I feel like that wasn't the episode after that, though. Because wasn't that... Oh, no, you know what? Because episode 3 was Alone Sweets. Episode 4 was that episode. Yeah, episode 5 was the piss one. So...
yeah, that's why I'm like... So, this episode was interesting. An interesting follow-up. This episode is called Uneasiness at Akihabara. Akihabara. Anyway, as I was saying to Owen... that's like a district in Tokyo, like New York has like the Queens, Brooklyn, Hell's Kitchen, the Bronx. I know that Akihabara is like the entertainment section of Tokyo.
Yeah.
So I guess now we officially have a setting for Kiss Sis.
I guess we do. It's in Tokyo. I wouldn't be very happy about that. I wouldn't want to have my... I would like, If
I lived in Tokyo, I'd be like, all right, well, I'm leaving. I don't want to be in the same city that the setting for Kiss Sis is. Goodbye.
I noticed they waited like a few episodes to reveal that. It's like Tokyo was embarrassed, like originally, that it was in their city. Right. So they...
Well, such great world building for this fucking show. It took us halfway through this goddamn show to even figure out where the fuck it was set. I thought it was just set in some god forbidden... like unnamed city, and it's like, nope, it's Tokyo. It's like, okay.
Either that or they would make it sooner. Either that or they would make up a name. How some cities, some shows will just make up names of cities that aren't even cities. So I thought they would do that here, just that way. Like, I mean, we knew the setting was Japan. We just didn't know where in Japan. So.
Well, yeah, it doesn't really narrow it down. That's like, oh, this show is set in America. Where in America? I don't know. Just fucking America. Fuck you.
Also, I'll just say this now. We found, it took us a while. It took me a while to find this episode. Like, this was probably the hardest episode to find. I remember, I think it did take us a little bit to find episode 5, but this episode was really hard to find.
Yeah.
So I sometimes it'll be on Facebook. I don't know why it's on Facebook sometimes, but it is.
Someone's sharing that with their family.
But,
well, it's also funny because, we watched Dragon Ball on Crunchyroll, which was pretty easy. And then you were like, oh, by the way, is Kiss Sis on here? And I was like, why the fuck would they waste money getting the rights that scream Kiss Sis?
Yep. But then, I was looking for, Kiss Sis. I could not find it. So I found it on Facebook. It wasn't the right episode because, we're just going to say it now because I already said the spoiler to you. We find out that he makes it to high school in that episode. So, like, yeah, I don't think this is the right episode. So.
Oh no, God forbid! Oh, and you ruined the amazing plot of Kiss Sis, where we're finding out if he's going to take a test and get into high school. Turns out he did get into high school. Oh my God!
And funny thing is, it's not even in the season finale. It's in like episode 8. So I wonder what the season finale is going to be. So.
Oh, and this show doesn't have a fucking plot. Who cares?
I remember we talked about that. Like, I think we're kind of noticing. I mean, it's halfway through the show, but we're noticing this show isn't. It's very one-off-ish. No one episode leads to the next type of thing. So.
No, not at all. But yeah, this episode is called Uneasiness at Akihabara. Owen, do you want to guess when this shit show aired?
May 8th, 2010.
You were really close. Holy shit. May 10th, 2010.
I knew it was 2010. And I remember it was in like May. So like,
Yeah, you took 2 days off. I'm like, damn.
I did have because I was trying to. I did look. I mean, I did kind of look it up ahead of time because like I was trying to find because I had to keep going to Wiki for the name of the episode so I could like find it and shit.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, again, speaking of the Wiki, congrats. We got a synopsis and then like fuck all. No trivia. No nothing. We got like an air date and we got the fucking name of the episode. That's it. They didn't give a fuck with this episode. They didn't give a fuck with the Wiki.
You know how like Balls do trivia night for like certain things? We need like a Kiss Sis trivia night so that way, like a Kiss Sis.
I wouldn't list out my worst enemy. Yeah, you can tell this episode old as fuck because it starts off with them being like, "Oh my god, we have a computer. That's amazing. What amazing technology! The internet.
Yeah,
that's so new and advanced." It's like, oh god, this episode's old.
Which is weird because the internet has been a thing for like a while.
Yeah, it's like treating the internet like it's like this brand new thing when the internet had been out for a while at that point. Like 2010, I had been using the internet for a while at that point. So that is weird.
Because the internet was like a thing in like 2001 even too. Like when
Oh yeah, like I had a computer when I was like 4.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. It's just strange. I guess they're just like. Well, I was gonna say they're poor, but they have a big ass house, so I don't fucking know. They're like really well off financially, but they like never had a computer. It's weird.
The best thing about this is they just mentioned this happened. They don't even show anything about it. I think it's Kaida mentions that his dad won the laptop just on a raffle. He didn't get a promotion or anything. He just won it on like a raffle. So that's how they won their big laptop. They didn't buy it. They just won it on a raffle.
Again, that supports my theory that Kita's dad has like his own show, and we're just watching like the shitty spin-off.
I think we talked about this. We made up a scenario in our heads that like his dad, that they just made up a fake raffle so his dad could win it, but there was really like a promotion so that way his boss could be proud of him, that like he let his son think that he could marry his sisters for like years.
Yeah, his boss is like, I'm a CEO, but you're more evil than me. Congrats, you'll get a promotion and a new computer.
We find out he's really the CEO of his company, but like he's just pretending that he's not, just to let his boss.
He's actually like super rich, and he has like multiple families, and he's just like, he like doesn't even give a fuck about his family. Again, Kita's dad, give him a show. Don't give him a name though. Never give him a name. He's Kita's dad only.
I still remember. I don't even think it was until the episode of my birthday I even knew it was Kita's dad. I thought it was the girl's dad. So
you thought like the mom was Kita's dad. I'm like, nah, it's his dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. They don't bother fucking explaining that like at all.
I always notice we find out something new. Today we found out something new. We found out where the show's taking place, like actually is. So like we always find out something new about it.
The lore of the show is so deep and advanced. They really thought through this.
Do you notice too? We find out like things about this show that they should have already told us. Like we're episode 6, and we actually know like where the show is now. We should have known this already. Like
we should have known. And again, Kita's dad. I can't believe the writer. I think I told you the show. The manga didn't end to 2017.
Yeah. The
manga ran for like over 10 years, and not one point in those 10 years did he think I should give Kita's dad a name.
Maybe 9 years he got into it. It's like, oh shit. Maybe he forgot. Like he's like, oh shit, I didn't forgive him a name. Oh well, we're 9 years into it. Too late.
It really shows the care and thought put into this show. But yeah, they're on a train heading to Akihabara, which is like the entertainment section of Tokyo, and Kita's like, yeah, computer's nice and all, but I would have preferred like a gaming console. He doesn't say what kind. He doesn't say if he wants an Xbox or a PlayStation or what came out in 2010, a Wii.
Can't blame him though. I don't think Wii Xboxes or anything else wanted their name said in this show. So it's like, you can't really blame him.
You say that, Owen, but we're gonna get to a point in this goddamn episode where they fucking reference something and it pisses me off. Anyway, we're not there yet. Happy smiles, happy smiles. They're on a train going to Akihabara, and they're getting stuff for the computer. And the sisters are acting weird. Not that they're never not acting weird, but they're acting weird.
Should I say why?
Yeah, sure. You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, say why.
So yeah, we get like a flashback, and we find out that they were trying to use their stepdad's new laptop to like look up porn sites and all this type of stuff. But apparently there's which makes sense, that's blocked because it's a work computer. You can't really be like looking up that stuff on your work computer.
Yeah, it's like child locked. Yeah.
So like they're trying to like write words in that's gonna like break it, so that way like they can get to that stuff without like making it obvious. And of course they write the most obvious words that you can write that like wouldn't break it, like scissoring and all these other things. So.
Well, okay, so there's two things, that they keep just, like, naming, like, sex positions. Rico from Hannah Montana, like, 3 times in a row, named, like, piss stuff. And Akko was like, okay, that's really specific.
Yeah.
So, confirmed. This show just has, like, a piss fetish, which is,
yep.
To each their own, but that's disgusting.
I think the best part, though, they got some commitment, though. Like, you would think they would, like, do this for, like,
hours. Yeah, like the sun was coming up when they gave up. All night they were trying to fucking Google porn.
Yeah,
well, it's also at one point they like tried to type in lesbian, and I'm like, okay, is there something you want to say?
Like I think, yeah. But yeah,
well, it's weird because it's weird that the two sisters who are like super in love with their brother wanted to look up like lesbian.
I guess they would just try. I guess they would. Trying anything. It would have been funny if that worked. Like they wanted, like they like the dad just child bonded for them, but like Kita was okay type of thing.
Yeah.
Or he gives
I was just when they said that, I'm like, what?
Yeah. Or when Kita's dad like tells Kita the password of how to get the child block turned off, but he doesn't give it to them. That'd be awesome. That should be its own. That should have been its own episode.
He's younger than them. Yeah.
Yeah, but like as you say, he wants them, like he's like egging them on to get into this type of stuff. The sister's not so much. So,
right. Yeah, but they basically spent all night trying to fucking Google porn because apparently they have nothing better to do.
So what they're gonna do is they're going to Akihabara, or however you say it, so that way they can just get a game that like is very porn heavy. And obviously they're worried, like, how are they going to do this without Kita finding out about it? Because I'll just say now, later in the store, I think this is, like, one of the next scenes, they go into the store, and one of them, like, has a fantasy thinking that, like, Kita's going to be, like, dead against it, thinking that, like, what he's doing isn't good enough for them. And then the other version, I think that was Rico's, like, fantasy, and then, like, Aiko's fantasy was the opposite. That like, oh, I didn't know you were into this stuff. None of these fantasies I don't even think came true. So that was just.
Well, it's also weird because like they try this whole episode to like make sure he doesn't know that's what they're buying, but I'm like, why'd you take him with you then?
Yeah, they didn't really, because it's like they're older than him, so he doesn't need them. I don't know why they took him with them. Yeah.
Right, so like they're trying really hard to make sure that he doesn't like find out that's what they're buying. But I'm like, oh, so like, why just go yourselves? Why are you taking him with you?
That was really odd. Yeah, they didn't really do a good job of. I mean, these are also two people that just went and stared in like a blank classroom for like a good few minutes. Yeah,
I know, right? Like staring at the wall, being like, if I stare at this wall long enough, it'll become my brother.
It's okay. I do notice, by the way, I just say this now, there was a lot of instances in this episode where we just jump cut to random shit, like, what it would be like at the moment where the teacher comes up to, like, find the porn site, or, like, when we find out she's buying stuff, and it, like, cuts to somewhere else, like, completely unrelated, like stuff happen, like, they do a lot of random jump cuts, like, randomly, like, it was really weird.
Oh, are you saying this show is poorly put together? Couldn't be me. I mean, you're talking crazy right now.
But yeah, so they get to the...
we're jumping ahead a bit. Yeah, they're on the train, and they get off the train. They're in Akihabara, and they're seeing a bunch of, like, nerds doing nerd shit. Owen, couldn't be me. I'm not a nerd. I'm a jock.
Right.
I I just like talking about Kiss Sis on the internet.
I mean, Kiss This is for again, there's gonna be a trivia night at a bar one night. We're gonna have to go because we're like,
right, it's gonna be, we're gonna go to a bar and they're gonna be like, all right guys, it's Kiss Sis trivia, and we're like, all right, we've trained for this.
We're not even. What sucks because we're only halfway through the show, so we won't even do good in the trivia night. We don't even know how it ends yet. So.
Right. Yeah. Everyone else is gonna destroy us in the Kiss Sis trivia. Yeah.
We'll be the only ones there.
I know, right? But yeah, they end up going to this. Well, before that, for some reason they put cat ears on Akko.
Yeah, I didn't really go anywhere. Well, I guess it kind of went somewhere.
Other people like surround them and they start chanting her name. And my first thought was like, how do these random people know her name?
Yeah, because it's not like they're at the high school like location or anything like that. They're
like completely different parts of the city. And then like when she puts on the cat ears, everyone's like surrounding her, like cheering her on. And I'm like, who the fuck are you people?
I don't know. This is stuff that happens too, by the way, in the real world. Totally happens. Like someone puts on cat ears and stuff, and all of a sudden, like everyone would just surround you and cheer you on and like hope, and love it. So this is stuff that totally happens in everyday lives. It
happens to me all the time. Like we said in the Dragon Ball video, like what do you mean? It's not normal to find like little abandoned monkey boys out in the woods? I mean, it happens to me 5 times a week. I mean, I don't know about you.
I mean, that's more normal than what happens in this show. So it's
True. But yeah, they end up going into a store, and Rico from Hannah Montana decides that she's gonna go to like the adult section on like the top floor. So Akko needs to distract Kita. Again, I don't know why you invited him if you need to like sneak around him.
Yeah, I don't get it. Especially
Rico from Hannah Montana fucks off to go up to the porn section, and Akko and Kita decide they're gonna go like put on like costumes.
Yeah, so they go to like I guess I'll talk about this. They go to the costume store to play like cosplay, and we see the person that's like helping them out and everything like that. We find out that that's like I guess the sister's teacher. I think we have seen this person before, but again, I don't think she was in the last episode, and we went quite extensively without watching the show.
Yeah, we haven't seen this girl in like forever. So once she showed up again, I was like, who is this? Oh right, it's the teacher.
Yeah. I didn't even realize it was the teacher until like she said, "I'm the teacher." I'm like, "Oh yeah, now I remember you." So they're gonna go try on some cosplay stuff, and Kita's struggling, to get dressed. He doesn't even get a chance to even like try himself though. Like he's about to like take his clothes like off before Eiko comes in there and is just like, hey, do you need a hand? And she barges into like the dressing room where he's changing and like just decides to help him out. And then we hear a bunch of commotion going down, and the teacher comes over, and
she's like in the changing room next door, and she's like annoyed because she doesn't know it's them. She's just like, oh my god, these people are so fucking noisy. Like I'm just trying to try on this costume.
Yeah. So then she goes in and she sees like Eiko's in like the position as if she's gonna suck Kita's dick, and she's also wearing like a really scandally cosplay outfit. I forget what it was off the top of my head because I kind of tried to wipe it from my mind. And like the teacher was
from this unpure show, unholy.
Yeah, and the teacher at this point too, the teacher just thinks they're dating. By the way, she doesn't even realize that they're like stepbrothers and stepsisters and all that type of stuff. I don't want to say brothers.
Right? Yeah. Well, he like doesn't see like they're like Akko at first, and then like Akko turns around, and then she's like, "Oh fuck, that's my student."
Yeah. So, and we find out that she's big into cosplay and stuff, and she doesn't want like her students to find out about it. But you think this part of the plot right here is gonna get some chance to like breathe. You build up to this stuff. This is what I mean. Like I think that's what I was trying to say earlier. Like they'll just jump to like a completely random thing. Nothing really gets a chance to breathe in this episode. So
yeah, I know, right? Because then the next scene, like the teacher like runs off, I guess, and then like the very next scene, it's Rico from Hannah Montana, on like the adult section, and then she's like looking for a game to buy. And then she sees like a game that's like theme is like brothers and sisters, because of course, of course.
Yeah.
And then she goes to grab it, and then the teacher, she's just like teleported up here, I guess.
I mean, it's not out of the ordinary. We did see in the last episode, like the sisters were like at the school, and then like it was like if they weren't like in the end of the episode, like
yeah, everyone in this show can like teleport, I guess.
Teleport.
But yeah,
like,
she like
telekinesis.
grab. Yeah, and everyone can like read minds and shit. Yeah. Strange. The Kiss world is very complex, very deep lore. The creator thought very long and hard about all of these things.
Dragon Ball's got nothing of how much they thought about this show. Like, nothing.
Oh, true. Game of Thrones, Death Note, Breaking Bad wishes they had this much thought and effort put into the show. But yeah, anyway, the teacher shows up, and she, like, also grabs the porn game at the same time as Rico from Hannah Montana. And then Rico from Hannah Montana is like, oh my god, you're my teacher. Who's like, why are you here?
Yeah.
You're a teacher.
I guess this is kind of relatable. Like, you go to buy porn, and then, like, you see... Back in the 2010s and stuff, anyways, like, you could, that fear of running into, like, someone, Yeah, that's like a teacher or, like, your boss or something, I guess. That's kind of relatable.
Owen, I can say with complete confidence, I cannot relate to that whatsoever.
I'd say more so the fear, but, like, where it's unrelatable is, the way they kind of go about it. They don't really go about it in the best way. So
yeah, but the teacher brings up a valid point of like, what are you doing up here? You're like not 18. You shouldn't be here.
Right.
But Rico from Hannah Montana is like, well, what are you doing? You're a teacher. Well, I mean, that's like slight. Being a teacher is like better than buying shit illegally. And then the teacher is like, oh, I'm just like doing research on it. How this like stuff is like bad for kids. And then like a random guy just like shows up and he's like, oh, hey, cool, this game, I'm gonna buy it. And she like fucking beats the shit. She punches the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, I remember.
And then he disappears. We never see him again. He's not on the floor, knocked out. We don't like. He's gone. She literally punched him out of existence.
We never even find out like
they never mention it again. She just punched this man out of existence.
I like to think that that's what happened to him. He went to Belize. That's where he went.
Yeah, he went to Belize.
Not even to Belize. Because it's like what happened in one of the Freddy Krueger Nightmare on Elm Street movies, where Freddy killed someone and he just got him out of existence. No one ever talked about them again. They just were forgotten about.
Oh wow! I was gonna say, yeah, he's in Belize with the business guy from Death Note.
Yeah, but like the business guy from Death Note's at least brought up again. This guy was never brought up ever again. He never.
He fucking existed just to get the shit punched out of him. Yeah. And then anyway, the teacher runs off with the game. She buys it, and then Rico stops her again. And Rico from Hannah Montana is like, "Why'd you buy it?" And then I'm like, "What the fuck do you mean? The teacher just said she was like gonna do research on it." And like, obviously that's a shitty lie, but she already told you.
Yeah. I guess the reason like the scene right here existed to show that like she was lying, because obviously why would she go out of her way to deck this guy if she didn't really want it that much? But like,
yeah. But then like all of a sudden Akko just appears again. She just teleports up here.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey Rico from Hannah Montana, did you like find the porn game we're getting?" And then she was like, "Oh shit, hey teacher, yeah, we just saw each other with the costumes. That's crazy. It's weird that you're up here too. I guess you teleported up here." Then Kia is also there. He's kind of just confused at this whole thing. And then she realizes that like, oh shit, Kita isn't like her boyfriend; it's her stepbrother. And then she's like,
"No, at first
what?"
At first she thinks brother. Actually, AJ. So,
Oh, does she think brother? Okay, but anyway, he introduces himself as like their brother, as the brother, and she's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you two?"
And then like they do like this weird cut where like it shows what she's thinking of is going on, where he thinks that the Which she ends up being, she's kind of right about, like, that they're, like, fucking and all that type of stuff. I remember that happens. And then, Kita finds out, Kaida, that they bought the,
Oh my god. I know you didn't mean to. I thought you said Al Qaeda, like the terrorist group.
That would have been bad. But Kita, you know, finds out that the sisters are buying the porno game because I think the teacher
It like falls out of her bag.
Yeah.
And then he like picks it up and realizes it's like a brother sister thing. So he like, actually I don't know what his thought process was because like I guess he thought like they were fighting over it, but like he came into the conversation like halfway, so he shouldn't know that, and it fell out of her bag. So I'm like, why does he assume that it's what Rico from Hannah Montana and Akko wanted?
Yeah, they didn't really explain that. So he's like upset. My guess is that, you know, he kind of put two and two together and they're like, oh, I guess that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Know. And then you know,
why the fuck did they invite him if they didn't want him to find out?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, they didn't really give a good reason for it. Like, because they're older than him, so I was thinking, like, he was there for, like, adult supervision. But even then, he's not even, you know...
right, he's younger than them. Yeah, he's, like, 15.
And then, like, I was thinking at first, like, did he just go along for the ride? And then, like, you know, it was like, shit, he wasn't supposed to comment. Like, they didn't explain why he's with them. So,
yeah.
But anyhow, you know, yeah, so then the teacher puts two and two together and kind of, like, you know, the teacher's horrified and haunted about the fact, like, what's going on. And finally, AJ, someone calls out what's wrong with this. The fact that, you know...
I know, we have one sane person in a world of fucking freaks.
At least we thought so.
He's the first person in this goddamn show to be like, yeah, you know, maybe brothers and sisters shouldn't fuck. But then they're like, but we're step-siblings, so it's okay. And then she... being the only fucking sane person here, is like, that's still really fucked up and weird.
Yeah. Honestly, this scene was relatable in the sense that this is what we legit had to deal with in our first episode when, like, we said this and then, like, the commenters, like, responded, but yeah, no, about the step-siblings, like, it's not weird.
And like, it's still weird. They still were, like, raised together and they still call each other brother and sister all the time. So no, it's still fucking weird.
Yeah. But then, you know, the teacher kind of realized, like, she needs to step in. This is where it gets bad. So, like, the teacher's like, yeah, I gotta step in. I might lose, like, my teaching license for this, but I gotta, like, find a way to get, like, alone with Kaida to kind of explain, like, the situation. So I'm thinking, you know...
And to be fair, that's a legit, like, again, we have the first fucking sane person in the show. She's like, okay, I am willing to risk losing my job if it means I can stop incest. And it's like,
yeah,
thank God we have a fucking responsible adult in this goddamn world.
They don't really, though, explain, like, how they got separated, though. It just cuts to, like, the next scene, and, like, they...
Oh, yeah, like, Rico from Hannah Montana and Akko, like, turn their heads for a second, and they turn around, and they're, like, gone. They, like, disappear like Batman.
Yeah, so... So then, this is where it gets bad. So, obviously, she's big into cosplay, but before I kind of get about that, I want to talk about why this is bad. So, this whole conversation, she's, like, trying to, like, explain to, like, Kita, you know, like, this is incest, this is one... But she's blaming, like, she's blaming Kita for it. Like, she's like saying, like, you're, like, egging him on to, like, do this type of stuff. It's like, what the hell are you... Again, I guess...
Right. That seems to be weird. Everyone seems to assume Kita's the guy who's, like, instigating all this. It's like, nah, these fuckers, like, constantly harass him.
I guess this was the only way to defend it. I guess she's not, like, around it, I guess, so she doesn't see what's actually going on. So I guess she just thought it was his fault, but, like, you know...
Well, I think she also said there's, like, rumors going around that, like... It's, like, the brother who, like, instigates it.
Yeah, so...
I guess that's going off the rumors, but
yeah.
still.
But then again, she also just walked into one of the sisters about to buy porno. It's about brothers and sisters fucking each other. You would think you would kind of put two and two together, like, there, too. Like...
Yeah, they are the instigators. Or, like, at the very least, they're just as bad as him.
Yeah, but, like, here, all the blame is, like, you know, on him. She's, like, completely blaming him, like, 100%. The brother, too, like, it just... I don't even know what... Kita's just like, yeah, well, like, they're my sisters, you know, He's, like... He's not really arguing against the incest, but he's not really, like, in favor of it either. I don't really think he knows what he thinks. He's just, like, you know...
I don't know, he's just, like... Yeah, at one point he's just like, hey, they're the best sisters in the world, I'm leaving. And it's like, okay, no, you didn't like address the situation though. You didn't like combat anything she said.
Yeah.
That, like, it's really fucking weird, like your whole relationship.
But then, you know, I've been talking for a while, AJ.
Oh yeah, so basically they're having this conversation in this like, she basically just like took him to this like random like store. I don't even know what it is, like a diner.
Yeah.
And then, well, it's like a restaurant where you like have your own room, and then like the worker is just like, oh hey, by the way, this is like a cosplay diner, I guess, and you can like dress up as like your favorite characters. And they mentioned that they're like doing a discount for like her favorite character who's like a samurai, and she's like, okay, we're gonna have this conversation about incest and you fucking your sisters, but I'm gonna have you dress up as my favorite character while we're doing this. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
It was, I don't know.
Like, he does it, messes up, and he's like, why are you having me do this?
Yeah.
It's like, buddy, why are you asking that now? I feel like you should have asked that, like, several minutes ago.
Before you got into the costume. Also,
I know, right? Like, he took off his clothes, put on the samurai armor, had a conversation with her, and then you ask why you're wearing it?
Also, what didn't really make sense is, like, why did they pick, like, this location to go have this, like, private conversation? Like, specifically.
Well, yeah, it's also weird. She apparently, like, didn't know. She just, like, picked a random spot to, like, have this conversation. And then, like, when she got there, the worker was like, oh, hey, by the way, this store is, like, for, like, dressing up with, like, your boyfriend.
But why would you pick, like...
And it's like, oh, what are the fucking odds of all the places you could have went to?
Yeah. But why, like... pick this specific location? Was she just trying to get out of there like very again, because we didn't get much like of what happened in between this. They were just gone in this room like when this was going on. So
yeah, they literally just teleported, and Kato was like, so why did we come here?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, what it seems like they just like picked a random place.
Yeah.
And it's just like while they're trying to have this conversation about her like explaining why you shouldn't fuck your sisters, the people next door to them are like banging, like.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's like what this place is about. It's like you put on costumes and like bang. It's like, okay, again, why is everyone in this fucking world a freak?
This is in the mall too, by the way. Like with like, you know, what kids could come.
Is it in the mall? Okay.
Yeah, because they're at like a mall or something, right? Because they kind of make that.
Yes, we just they like disappear from like the adult store, and then they're just like in this new building. So like they didn't like explain anything. We talked about like it's really cool in like Amity Park. We can kind of tell like where things are in the city of relation. Yeah, we don't get any of that here.
Nothing.
Yeah, Akko and Rico from Hannah Montana are like running around looking for him while they're like in this store or place or whatever the fuck this place is. But anyway, as I said, Kita's like getting up to leave. And he like, and the teacher like grabs his hand, and he like falls down on top of her somehow because I guess she has the grip strength to fucking like tear. I don't even know. This show is fucking dumb. This show is just stupid.
Yeah.
And then she like starts fantasizing about and this will be the thumbnail, by the way, how his dick is like a pirate ship cannon.
I feel like too she does this like a few times too, like throughout the episode. This is like the most specific one we remember. So
yeah, but because I don't care, it doesn't serve the plot in any way. It's just it happens. Yeah, and then all of a sudden Rico from Hannah Montana and Akko like open the door, and like they're there, and they're like, "What are you doing, step bro?"
Yeah. Especially to like,
and I'm like, how'd you find them? How'd you know they were in here?
Yeah.
And how'd you know they were in a specific room? Because as we saw earlier, like the couple next to them in like the other room were like banging. So like were they just going around opening every door, and they just kept like seeing people having sex, and they're like, okay, well that's awkward. Anyway, on to the next room.
Why didn't the employees too put a stop to this? Like you would think like they would get their own privacy and stuff.
I know you think they would like kick them out of the fucking store.
Yeah. But I guess because I know you want to talk about the thing at the end of the episode, so I guess I'll talk about like the semi-end of the episode. So
just imagine you're like in a hotel or whatever with your girlfriend, and you're having a good time, and all of a sudden these random sisters fucking bust the door open, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, looking for my brother. My bad."
Well, if I saw it was them, it would.
Who the fuck are you?
if I saw it was them, it would make sense because like it'd be like, oh yeah, I know who you are. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so then I bet
They used to show took place in Tokyo. You figure it taking place in Alabama.
I like to think too that like they had do not disturb signs like on all these rooms, but they just went in there
They just
anyways.
didn't care. They just fucking opened it up anyway. Do you think, like last episode, they walked into a random room and then stared at the wall again for like 5 minutes, being like, well, that wall's not my brother. Anyway, moving on.
I like to think so. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I like to think that's what they would do with like off screen, just type of thing.
Yeah. Oh, man, goddamn. People can teleport in this goddamn show. It's crazy.
So then, again, they teleport again. I guess this one made sense though, because it's like time passed, so it's not like they teleported. Like it seems like some time had passed between that scene and this scene, but whatever. So then, they apologize to like Kita for getting the adult game, and they apologize to the teacher. I don't even know I guess for not letting her get the game. I don't even know what they were apologizing for. But
Well, she got the game too, so I don't even know what they're apologizing for.
I guess we're not assuming that she liked that stuff. I'm not, and I guess the teacher apologizes to like them. So then, the teacher's little sister comes up and mentions,
Well, it's also what are the odds? Because we saw this girl like in a different episode.
yeah, we did. I forget. I remember she was in a different episode. I don't remember what episode because again, we don't watch these like back to back. We don't binge watch this show. So
What episode? Who cares? Anyway, moving on.
so she comes up and she's just like, she's telling the sisters and Keto and stuff, that she's like really there was like a comic book or like some type of book that she wanted that was like being sold with the game, that they just so happen to be buying. And she said that my sister was gonna buy this game for me so I could get this book, and it's like the only copy left and all that type of stuff, and that's the only way you can get this game. So this kind of makes the sisters feel guilty and like give her like the game. Now I'm like, okay. Originally, what I was going to ask is like, if this was true, why are you selling like a kid's thing with like an adult porno thing? Like, why is that a thing? But also, we find out the next scene. We find out that this was a lie. This was totally predictable that it was a lie. It was a total obvious lie because why would this kid then be sold with an adult thing?
Yeah. Because we see that. So this is my time to shine. We see that the little sister is like taking pictures of the teacher like in like a revealing costume. She's like all embarrassed, and this little sister says she's gonna like put it on her blog, but like don't worry, she'll like hide the face. And the teacher's all embarrassed, but she's like, hey, I always cover for you when people like catch you like buying like weird shit.
Yeah.
So this is the least you can do to pay me back. So apparently this is like a common thing where the teacher like gets caught buying like porn, and the little sister has to like bail her out.
I do have to ask, where was the little sister earlier when all of this was going down? Like, what did she miss her cue earlier?
Teleport again, like everyone in this goddamn show, she just teleports when she's needed for the plot. Whenever the script says you need to show up, she just teleports in.
Yeah.
But we get a view of the teacher's room, and she has posters. And Owen, at first I was thinking like, oh, these are just made up posters. Let me look closer and see. And at first I saw a Tales for Hysteria poster, which is like a real game. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And then I saw a Fate Unlimited Blade Works poster, and I wanted to punch my goddamn screen because why the fuck is one of my favorite goddamn shows stuck in this piece of shit Kiss Sis anime, man? Why? Why did that show deserve to be fucking stapled in with Kiss Sis?
Hey,
and they got the actual like movie poster and everything. That's like the real life poster for the show.
You know what?
And they're like, yeah, we're gonna slap this into Kiss Sis.
Hey, you know what, AJ, though? You always say you like it when shows like this mention real-world stuff, with Danny Phantom with, like, that NASCAR driver thing, Breaking Bad when it mentions KFC, you said you like it when they mention that stuff. I thought you liked that.
Oh, yeah, no, it's great. No, I just love that Kiss Sis exists in the Kiss Sis universe. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great.
So I'm wondering...
Yeah, it's funny. I also texted Owen the picture, like the screenshot of it, and I was like, what the fuck? They put Kiss Sis and they put Fate and Kiss Sis? Why? Owen hasn't even seen Fate, but it pisses me off that it's fucking in Kiss Sis now.
You know what the first part is?
Yeah.
I wonder if when you go to watch Fate now, I wonder if there's gonna be a Kiss Sis reference when we go to watch that.
Oh, I kill myself. But and I'm like, oh, it's Unlimited Blade Works too, and I really like Unlimited Blade Works. There's a lot of Fate shows, and I'm like, oh, of all the ones, it had to be one of the really good ones. It had to be like my favorite one. Why?
So yeah, AJ's really happy that like one of his favorite shows got referenced in Kiss Sis. He's like,
Yep.
that was the end of the. I noticed too. That's the end of the episode. Like I noticed they squeezed that in there, knowing we were gonna do this for your birthday too. But what a great birthday!
Yeah, this is my birthday special. It's like, oh hey, you like Fate, right? Yeah. Well, it's in Kiss Sis for like 5 seconds. Have fun with that. Bye. It's like, whoa, what? So yeah, this is an episode that exists, I guess. Nothing really happened in it. They just bought a porn game and they ran into their teacher. That was it.
Yeah, kind of.
And legit, forgot the teacher was in this show.
Right. I will say this: that AJ and I were talking about this. This was kind of. I mean, this show sucks anyways, but this was kind of like a boring episode compared to what we got last episode, and the hilariousness we got in episode 4 when Kita's dad was laughing at his son that he was just breaking his heart and everything like that.
Yeah, I know, right?
So.
But the last episode though, that was the hardest I've laughed in a long time. Although to be fair, it wasn't even the show; it was what you said. Because when the girl pissed on his back, you said "Oh, this shit," and I thought you were saying she shit on his back. And that made me fucking laugh for 2 minutes straight.
I think this is
imagine on his fucking back.
You would put it's between this too and the first episode we did when you were 15. I feel like you were more. I feel like then you were pretty angry, but I feel like here you were more angry about the fact that Fate. This one felt personal to you.
I know, right? And it was right at the end too. They just slipped that in there. It's oh, by the way, hey, Fate's in the show. Wait, what? Bye. End credit.
Kind of reminds you in the L movie where we didn't think Nia was going to be in the that universe, and then
we didn't think Nia was in it. At the very last minute, they're oh, hey, by the way, kid, your name is Nia, and it's no.
and they paid him, and they made him a kid so we couldn't hate him too. They made him a kid. So
I know, right? And it's weird too. It's you brought it up. It's why is this one kid immune to the virus? Oh, of course it's Nia. He escaped the virus because he's he has the power of the script on his side.
Yep. But yeah, so this episode.
Yeah, this episode sucks. It's boring. People just teleport all around.
Yeah.
Just dumb. It's this episode was boring as fuck.
You know what sucks? So this is the one episode that finally addressed the main problem with this show, but yet somehow it still sucked. It still sucked in the end.
I know, right? Yeah, you brought it up. It's this is we finally meet one person who's hey, it's kind of weird to bang your siblings, and it's she's also a weirdo.
Yeah, so everyone.
Although to a way lesser degree.
Yeah, but still, we don't have one.
They made her super embarrassed and ashamed of her hobbies, but it's okay, so she likes porn and dresses up. Who fucking cares? At least she's not banging her brother. Yeah,
I know. Yeah, and that's the thing that's being hidden. By the way, I want to mention that's the thing that they're trying to hide from the show. That's weird.
I know, right? They're making it seem oh man, that's so weird that she dresses up in costumes. It's bruh, your main characters are all banging each other. Shut the fuck up.
And the side characters are egging them on to do so.
I know, right? It's no. Listen, she's by far the least freaky person in this goddamn show.
Yeah. Well, the mom might be.
Yeah, but the mom has 5 seconds of screen time. The teacher in this one episode has had more screen time than the mom.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah. I don't even remember, has the mom talked at all?
I think she had to. Yeah. Because I think she has.
Well, the fact that I need to even ask that question should already be, signing off.
And by the way, the worst part about these 2 episodes, Kita's dad hasn't had his time to shine recently. He needs.
Oh yeah, his dad didn't even show up in this episode. I mean, apparently he's a Giga Chad and he just won a computer without even trying. But good to him. Again, this should be. I like to think this is a shitty spinoff to Kita's dad's real show.
Yeah, he's doing but somehow his show Kita's dad's show didn't get greenlit, but this one did. So.
I'm right. Yeah, the Kita's dad variety hour. Yeah.
Yeah, But yeah, anyhow, that's the end of this review. We didn't do a letter grade. I'm gonna give this like a high F. A high F. Maybe a low F. Maybe a medium F.
I'm gonna do. I mean, I usually give these episodes like an F minus minus minus. This one's just like a regular F minus. Like it's still shit. It's boring. I don't know. It's in a weird way. This episode is better than the last episode, but it's worse because it's just so boring. Like I don't give a fuck about this episode.
Nothing really happens that's like into it. I mean, nothing's happened that's interesting at all. But like we didn't have that moment where we, like, you know what's worse? We didn't have that moment where we felt like, yeah, why were we watching? I mean, we kind of did, but like last episode, we really like. If you're wondering why we went so long without reviewing the show again, it's because the last episode.
Yeah, after the last episode, we were like, oh, we got to take a break from this shit.
And then
yeah, so this episode was like better in a way, but it was just so forgettable. Like I'm gonna forget this episode in like a week.
And this is coming off of like 2 episodes where we have memorable moments, like Kita's dad laughing at his son that he's like crushing his hopes and dreams, and then the
last episode with the great piss debacle.
Yeah, so I'm kind of worried. I don't know if maybe they wanted to kind of like do like kind of like an episode like lighthearted where like it's not as weird type of thing, but like I don't know.
This is still pretty fucking strange.
We have people teleporting. I mean, it was pretty established episode 1 too that they can teleport because like.
Yeah, that just seems to be a thing. Like we should just stop pointing it out. That just seems to be like a thing in this Kiss Sis universe that people teleport.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. Happy birthday, happy birthday, AJ. I think I got the better episode for my birthday because I got the. All it was.
Yeah, you got the legendary moment where Kita's dad crushed his hopes and dreams. Yeah.
And you got your favorite show being.
I guess. Yeah. I got my favorite show showing up in this shit show for 5 seconds.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Great. And now, if we ever watch Kiss Sis, you're gonna be like, oh no. If we ever watch Fate, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, this is the show that shows up in Kiss Sis. I'm gonna be like.
Every review too. Every review, it's gonna be brought up. Like
Yeah, you're gonna be like, oh hey, Fate, my favorite spinoff of Kiss Sis.
Yeah. I think too that's the thing that sucks. I think you were like waiting to show me Fate. You're like, yes, I can't wait to show Owen Fate. And now this is
literally. I was literally like, oh, we should watch Fate sometime. Like, it's really good. You'd like it. And then fucking now it's in Kiss Sis, and now every goddamn episode I'm gonna be thinking like, this was in Kiss Sis.
And that's it.
This is this show.
That's worse. That's like my first exposure to Fate too. That's my first exposure to it.
True. This is like the first time you've ever seen it. I'm like, God damn it!
You know what the funny thing is? If you never said a word about it too, I never would have even known.
You wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know. I know. Me and my big fucking mouth. Yeah.
Oh, I feel like.
Anyway, that's it for this episode. Go fuck yourself, Kiss Sis.
I don't know when we're doing this again. We're probably my birthday. So.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We do it when we want to. And we rarely want to.
Bye.